The date is the 30th of July, 1989, in Cheyenne, Wyoming. The arena floor is a sea of mud. The sky is low and heavy. It's the final day of Cheyenne Frontier Days, the world's largest outdoor rodeo, nicknamed the daddy of them all. A huge crowd braves the cold and rain because today, an icon is expected. Lane Frost, the world champion with a brilliant smile, the kid from Oklahoma who won over America, is about to ride. For him, it was supposed to be just another day of triumph, one more performance to qualify for his 6th consecutive national final. On that day, a legend would enter eternity, but not in the way anyone imagined. To truly grasp the weight of this drama, we have to go back. Lane Clyde Frost was born on the 12th of October, 1963, not into a golden cradle, but into the rough and traveling world of rodeo. His father, Clyde, was a competitor himself, and his mother, Elsie, accompanied him on the circuit. Young Lane had rodeo in his blood. He grew up amidst the dust of arenas, the sound of hooves, and the smell of leather. Forget toy car. From the age of 5 or 6, Lane's playground was the dairy farm calves, on which he learned balance and courage long before he knew how to conjugate verbs. At just 10 years old, while other kids were collecting trading cards, he was collecting his first belt buckle, his first trophies won at Little Buckaroo's rodeos. He was pure talent, a force of nature. When his family moved to Oklahoma, his destiny was sealed. At Atoka High School, he was already a local star. In 1981, he became the National High School Bull Riding Champion. The following year, he won the first Youth National Finals in Fort Worth. For Lane, there was no plan B. The question wasn't if he would become a professional, but when he would become a world champion. But beyond the talent, there was the man. Lane was known for his easy smile, his kindness, and his humility. In this sport of tough, solitary men, he always took time for an autograph, for a kind word to a young fan. He never forgot where he came from and treated everyone with respect. It was this quality that earned him the love and admiration of all, far beyond his achievements. He was more than an athlete. He was America's ideal son-in-law, the hero everyone wanted to see win. Right after graduating in 1982, Lane Frost joined the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, PRCA, and hit the pro circuit. For those unfamiliar with bull riding, the concept is terrifyingly simple. Hold on with one hand to the back of a bull weighing nearly a ton, a beast selected for its ferocity, for 8 seconds. 8 seconds that can feel like an eternity. It's a violent ballet between grace and fury, where the slightest mistake can be your last. It didn't take long for Lane to make a name for himself. By 1984, he had qualified for his first National Finals Rodeo, NFR, the Super Bowl of rodeo. In 1986, he proved it was no fluke by winning the NFR Average, an award for the event's most consistent competitor. He had successfully ridden 9 of his 10 bulls. The year 1987 was his crowning achievement. At just 24 years old, Lane Frost reached the summit. After a grueling season, he was crowned world champion bull rider. He had fulfilled his childhood dream. The gold belt buckle, the symbol of his supremacy, was finally his. He was no longer just a talented competitor. He was the best in the world. His meteoric rise and magnetic personality made him a superstar, the perfect ambassador for his sport. Every legend needs a nemesis. For Lane Frost, this opponent wasn't a man, but a bull. His name, Red Rock. Owned by the Growney Brothers Rodeo Company, Red Rock was a mountain of red muscle, renowned as invincible. In 1987, the same year Lane became world champion, Red Rock was voted Bucking Bull of the Year. His reputation was terrifying. In his professional career, no cowboy had ever managed to last the full 8 seconds on his back. In 1988, a wild idea sparked in the mind of John Growney, Red Rock's owner, to organize a duel between the two 1,987 world champions. The event was named the Challenge of the Champion. It was David versus Goliath, man against the untamable beast, in a series of 7 matchups across the American West. The country became fascinated by this rivalry. It was more than just a rodeo. It was a saga. The first few encounters went to the bull, but Lane, with his unwavering determination, studied every move of his adversary. Finally, during the third confrontation, the unthinkable happened. Lane Frost held on for 8 seconds. He became the first and only man to ever make a qualified ride on Red Rock. He didn't stop there. Out of the 7 duels, Lane claimed victory 4 times. This feat cemented his status as a living legend. He wasn't just a champion. He was the man who had tamed the untamable. Here we are again in Cheyenne. On the 30th of July, 1989, the rain hasn't stopped, turning the arena into a slick field of mud. Lane is preparing for his final ride. He needs a good score. The bull he has drawn is named Taken Care of Business. Around 3:30 p.m., the chute gate flies open. The bull explodes into the arena. Lane is in the perfect position, his body absorbing the violent shocks. 1, 2. The seconds tick by, slow and brutal. 8. The buzzer sounds. It's a qualified ride, scored at 85 points. The crowd erupts. Often, the most dangerous part is the dismount. Landing in the mud, Lane falls just behind the bull. The beast turns and strikes him in the back with its horn. The blow is incredibly violent. The horn doesn't pierce his skin, but the force of the impact is devastating, breaking several of his ribs. Amazingly, Lane gets up. He takes a few steps, his face contorted in pain, and signals for help before collapsing, face down in the dirt. What no one can see is the massive internal hemorrhage that has begun. One of his broken ribs has punctured a major artery near his heart. Despite the quick arrival of medical help, Lane Frost dies on the arena floor. His death is officially pronounced at 3:59 p.m. He was 25 years old. The story of Lane Frost is one of immense talent and a passion that led him to the top, but also to his demise. It is a harsh reminder of the fragility of life, even for the greatest heroes. If his story has touched you, share this video so his memory lives on, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our stories about the legends who have marked history. The news of Lane's death sent a shockwave. Thousands attended his funeral in Oklahoma, where he was buried next to his mentor, rodeo legend Freckles Brown. This tragedy forced a brutal awakening about the dangers of bull riding. His close friend, Cody Lambert, then played a key role in designing a protective vest. This vest, which absorbs the impact of horns and hooves, is now mandatory in the major professional bull riding circuits, and countless lives have likely been saved because of this chain. Lane's legacy has become immense. His life inspired the 1,994 film 8 Seconds, starring Luke Perry. A bronze statue in his likeness now stands in front of the Cheyenne Arena. Even music has paid him tribute. The video for Garth Brooks' famous song The Dance is partly dedicated to him, linking his story to a universal message about life and sacrifice. More than 30 years later, the name Lane Frost still resonates. He is the champion struck down in his prime, the big-hearted hero whose smile is etched in collective memory. A phrase often attributed to him sums up his philosophy: don't be afraid to go after what you want to do and what you want to be, but be willing to pay the price. Lane Frost paid the ultimate price, but in doing so, he became an eternal legend.